In this video, we are going to talk about weight-bearing bones and why you shouldn't feed them. Let's get started. And really quickly, in the comments section below, let me know whether or not you've ever heard of weight-bearing bones for raw-fed dogs, whether you fed them, and what happened. And of course, subscribe and click the little bell icon that pops up when you do so that you get notified about future raw feeding videos. Alright, so before we talk about why you should not be feeding weight-bearing bones to your raw-fed dogs, let's talk about what they are. And when we say weight-bearing bones in regards to raw-fed dogs, what we are referring to is really dense bones that are in large animals, that part's key, that are in large animals that support a large majority of that animal's weight. So this would be something like the shoulder or femur of a large animal like a cow, elk, deer, these kinds of things, right? They're extremely dense bones because they hold up a lot of weight in large animals. And that is really why you shouldn't be feeding them. They're simply too dense for most dogs, and they present way too much of a dental issue. You could run into something like a fractured tooth, a cracked tooth, a chipped tooth. I mean, there's so many things that could happen. Now, I'm not saying that nobody does this and nobody can do it, because some people just have monster dogs that are just power chewers that are huge, beautiful dogs, but this is not the case for most people. And going back to the large animal part, because we can look at, a weight-bearing bone for a chicken would be a chicken quarter, right? Their leg. Obviously, that's not too dense for a dog to get through. Even when we start looking at things like pork, pigs, they're still kind of on that fringe area where for some dogs they might be a little bit too dense, but for others, it's just fine. So this whole weight-bearing bones thing is really applicable only to the larger animals, again, like deer, like elk, moose, cows, and so on. Obviously, big bird animals like ostrich, emu, they also apply because they're very large animals. So if you do have raw-fed dogs, which I hope that you do, and if you don't yet, what are you doing? Get yourself started. Go to rawfeeding101.com, get started. But if you do, please stay away from these large weight-bearing bones from large animals. Again, weight-bearing bones from small animals like chickens, turkey, rabbits, quail, and so on, that's all fine. But stay away from the large animals' weight-bearing bones. And of course, check out rawfeeding101.com for all of your raw feeding training needs. I'll see you next time.